All right. Good morning. You know, every now and then I tell you what laughter can do for you. That's why I do the funnies when I speak. It says laughter is a God-given gift. It deepens relationships, and even in Proverbs 15:13, we read, "A joyful heart makes a cheerful face." When we laugh with fellow believers, we build stronger bonds. Laughter brings healing. Science confirms what the Bible teaches. Laughter boosts the immune system. It reduces pain. It improves mental well-being. It reminds us not to take life too heavy. Even in the hardest times, faith teaches us that God is in control. And laughter is a beautiful way to trust God's plan. Y'all ready to do a little laughing? All right. It says that Oprah Winfrey, Obama, Trump, and a little girl were on a plane. And the plane was having some problems. But they only had 3 parachutes on the plane. So Oprah said, "I'm one of the richest women in the world, so I get one." And Trump said, "Well, I'm the president, so I get one." And so Obama and the little girl looked at each other, and Obama said, "You are the future, so you take one." The little girl said, "No, we both get one because Trump took my backpack." I got one more for you. I think, Ellen, you gave me this one. It says, "Stop washing your hair in the shower. The shampoo runs down our whole body." And you know the label says that it adds extra body and increases volume. That's probably the reason we gain so much weight. It says, so instead, start using Dawn dishwashing liquid. It promises to dissolve the fat that is difficult to remove. Dawn dishwashing liquid. Now, I am planted in divine mind. And then chapter 3, spirit. We are in the Lenten season, and today is the 12th day of that Lenten season. And Lenten season is about releasing and embracing, letting go of the old and setting the intention to embrace the new. It's a 40-day spiritual preparation for Easter. And 40 represents a season of transformation, testing, and preparation, reminding us that opportunity and possibility is always availed to us. It is always the time to release and step into a new. 40 represent a 4 square, a balance, a complete spiritual process, moving from a challenge, a burden, a transition from where we are and where we may be to where we want to be. It is said that we are more than our struggles, more than our survival. We are here to express something greater. So in our lives, no matter the age, no matter the aches or the pains, our losses, shortcomings, we are greater. The I am is God in expression in each of us. When we are planted in divine mind, we are an instrument, a conduit, a vessel of the Spirit of God within. Planted. Planting signifies new beginnings, symbolizing faith, the potential for transformation, a spiritual growth. The act of planting within the I am deepens our connection with God, with this universe, the nurturing of self. It reflects the importance of patience, self-awareness in our personal journey. Community, involvement in planting, it cultivates unity, shared dreams, emotional healing in community. And you know, every Sunday at the end of our service, we sing our doxology. But I wonder if we really listen to the words that we're saying. It tells us, I need you. You need me. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me. Agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is his will that every need be supplied. That's important. It is God's will that every need, whatever the need is, be supplied. But it's our belief, our trust, and our faith in the words that we say. When we say, I want to be healed, but the next moment you're talking about how bad it hurts, what the doctor said, all the medicine you got to take. So you just canceled out your healing word. When you speak your word, you got to stand anchored in it. It says, I will not let thee go until thou hast blessed me. So you don't let it go. Not that you're begging or beseeching God, but you're standing firm in your conviction. I need resources. But then you talk about how broke you are, how nothing is coming to you. You just canceled out your word for a blessing, for resources. You say, I want a companion. But then you say, it ain't no good men out here. You say, I want a companion. And then you talk about the women and how bad they are. We just cancel out our word. And that's why we have to stay anchored. Faith, belief, and trust in God's power is so important. Because now I am planted in divine mind. I can't wait for this or that until that income tax check come in. I can't wait for that. Now I'm planted. And now means what? Our doxology keeps on going and it says, I'll pray for you and you pray for me. I love you. I need you to survive. I won't harm you with words from my mouth. See, I want us to really pay attention to that when we sing it at the end of Sunday service, because you're walking out on that. And everybody you see is one of God's children. And we have to treat them as such. The old saying is you treat people how you want to be treated. You do your part. Don't be concerned what they do. Because the law of attraction is going to come back around to them. But you do your best, your part. It is his will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. I need you to survive. The I am, planted in divine mind, has to have an attitude of gratitude, which in this attitude fosters an abundance mindset. So when you have an attitude of gratitude, when you say, I love you, Lord, I need you, Lord, right now, you got to be grateful and thankful because God hears us always. And so we just have to open our minds, our hands, our heart to receive. A closed mouth and a closed fist can't get nothing. We are planted in divine mind. This deepens our connection with and to the divine. A couple months ago, I told you all to take those weekly affirmations that our church administrator so beautifully puts together every week. I said, put them on your mirror or put them on your refrigerator. Those are two places you're going to go. And look in the mirror and in the refrigerator. So this last week, it says Friday on the 27th, it says, my values are like seeds I plant each day. They give me broader possibilities because they are rooted in principle and divine wisdom, guiding my actions and my reactions. And I tell y'all a lot about reacting. A lot of times, as Victor was talking about, you got to take a breath. Don't react to something, respond to it. Because usually when you react, you got to spend some extra energy saying, I'm sorry. But if you just take that breath and allow God's wisdom to drop down in consciousness so you can respond divinely, because now you're planted in divine mind. You guys can't walk out of here not knowing that. You can't unring a bell. So now that you know that I am planted in divine mind, we have to conduct ourselves as such. And then yesterday, it said, I don't just say a prayer, I live it. I don't just say amen, I am it. Everything I am and everything I do is in divine praying itself into reality. Speaking your word, investing in your spiritual growth every day. We do a whole lot of things every day, repetitively. But what about nurturing and investing in your spiritual growth? You can't keep putting something in something and not get nothing. Something is going to come to you. We do reap what we sow. Put a carrot seed in the ground and see what you get. Put celery in the ground and see what you get. You ain't going to get an onion. You're going to get what? Celery. So what are you planting in your life? What thoughts are you allowing to sit on the seat of your consciousness? What values are you sowing in family? It's so sad how families are just drifted apart, don't speak to one another. And we're waiting on this one or that one to call us first. Forget if they owe you something. God is your resource. God will give you more than what you gave them. And usually when people got to borrow and they keep having to borrow, you ain't going to get it back. So don't give what you can't afford to maybe lose, but you'll gain something greater. This theme is about nurturing our souls, connecting with the cycle of life and nature. Just as we plant a seed in the ground, the seed has everything within its intention to be. As we think, our thoughts are seeds. We plant within, and then we send it out. And we talk about the law of circulation. Whatever we put out there, it's like a boomerang. It's coming back around. The law of attracting your energy, the vibe that you carry. You are attracting something. And if you keep attracting the wrong people, it's something about your energy that you need to correct. Something about your energy field, your vibe, because everything is energy. This is energy. The chair we're sitting in is energy. The clothes we wear is energy. Everything is energy. Whether it's dense, hard, soft, or whatever, it's energy because it's coming from the substance of God. When you go back to the very beginning, everything is God. Because God's wisdom is dropped into man and woman. And that's how we're able to make the things that we make. We're now planted in divine mind. We have all the intention of whatever we want to. We need to stop limiting ourselves by saying, I'm 80, I can't do this no more. I'll let the lump. No, if you still here, God still has need of you. I need to stop hearing, I did not mean that. We say that to people. Oh, I'm just kidding. The law has no idea that you're kidding. You knew I didn't really mean that. Well, then why did you think it and didn't say it? We don't think about how powerful our words are. And once you throw it out there, you can't take it back. But what you can do is heal your consciousness so it don't come out again. Correct thyself. Heal thyself by right thinking. And I told you all a couple of weeks ago, we complain about the littlest things that we make bigger. And I reminded us that what about the people who have no legs but still can drive a vehicle? What about the people that have no arms but can paint you a picture? So that means that they're going beyond the outer, the physical. There's something inner that allows us to do whatever we need to do. We are planted in divine mind. This mind that we say we believe in knows nothing about these aches and pains. Why would our Creator invest in that kind of thinking when God is wholeness? God is all that we can ever want or need. The unlimited livingness of God, right relations. There are seasons when we are on one accord, usually New Year, Valentine's Day, Easter too, Mother's Day, maybe Father's Day, I don't know. 4th of July, Thanksgiving, then Christmas. We usually come together and we usually have a different attitude, but I would love for us to get to a place where we don't wait for a season or a date to express our spiritual essence. I remember when I first met Paul. See, my grandmother was into holidays big. And so when I first met Paul, like on Mother's Day or something, Valentine's Day, I didn't get nothing. And he said, a date on the calendar is not going to dictate when I spend my money. So I want us to get to a place, because usually Hallmark is the biggest winner. When stuff come, I ain't saying don't get nobody nothing. But I'm saying that gift of giving has to be in us every single day. Not just on special, what we call special days. So then Paul would maybe buy some flowers or get something, and it wasn't nothing. So I had to learn how to shut up. And not be mad or be complaining. Because he said, I give you every day. And that's what we're supposed to do. And it ain't just tangible things. If we just give our spiritual selves to one another, the world would be so much better. Our relationships would be so much better. I need you. You need me to survive. It is God's will that every need be supplied. But it needs an acceptance and a yes on our part. Yes, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Can you imagine just walking around all day saying yes, Lord, and thank you, Lord? Can you imagine what that would do to your consciousness, to your heart center? That your soul can bear witness of its essence? See, our soul is the vehicle that houses the presence of God. So we have to nurture. We have to nurture our consciousness. We got to nurture our heart. And we got to nurture our soul. Everybody would love to go to the bank and make a deposit every single day. I bet you would. But what kind of deposit are you making in you? The most important. We are the greatest of God's creation. What are we investing in ourselves and each other? Because we can't give nobody what we haven't mastered ourselves. So you give as you are given. And God continuously, 24/7, continuously pours into us. But do we continuously receive? We are in the season of change. Nature knows that rain, shine, snow, storms, fires, trees with nature obeys. The trees don't mind letting go of their leaves. They'll stand there just as pretty if they was full and waiting for the season that it comes. Because it will come again. So we don't have to fret over what we call losses, because our Father is a giving Father. Our Father has everything we could possibly need or desire. But we have to sit, be still, as Reverend Helen always say, and know that now I am planted in divine mind. God is, I am, you are. We shall be renewed. We shall be made whole. We shall rise. Because God does that. As long as I stand, I am. 1 Kings 3:5, 6 and 9 says, God said, ask what I should give you. And then Solomon says, give your servant, therefore, an understanding mind. See, we can get all the stuff, but that's not going to make you happy in the long run. You got billionaires that are unhappy. Give me my peace of mind. You got people that are unhoused out there and it ain't bothering them. They'll fix up a cardboard box prettier than some of the other houses. The wisdom and spiritual understanding, I want us always to be available. When I align my thoughts, my soul, my very being with the mind of God in prayer, we open ourselves up to God's wisdom and understanding. The wisdom that comes from education or experience is important and useful, but spiritual wisdom goes beyond worldly experiences. We are now planted. To be spiritually wise, I must release my personal ideas of I shoulda or I could not, or condemning myself or condemning others. Because once you throw negativity out there, that's out of alignment with God. That's out of alignment what Jesus came to teach us. And so that negativity is going to find its way back to you somehow. Somehow. So be mindful, be careful what we're putting out there. The world that we see now is based on collective consciousness. It's a lot of angry, lost, mentally ill people out there. And we're seeing the result of it. These children are so angry by the time they're 4 and 5. How do you get a 6-year-old to take a gun to school and shoot the teacher? Where did that baby get that from? People are looking at us. We need to represent who we truly are. And that's children of God, sons and daughters of the Most High God. We need to open our mind to loving guidance, God out of which comes understanding. Whatever challenges we may be choosing to either go through or grow through, put that aura up in there. Don't just say, I'm going through this. You got to grow through it. Just as the trees, we shall be willing to release and let go in order to gain, to be renewed. The tree says, the sun says, the moon, the star says, the planet says, I must be planted in divine mind, for I am still standing. I'm still hovering, still holding. So on this 12th day of Lent, just as Solomon said, give the servants understanding and wisdom. Because when we have understanding and wisdom, we then are aware of whose we are and who we are. For the I am is our true identity. The I am is eternal, the true spiritual man and woman whom God made and called forth. It's about our true home in the realm of God, mine. It says this, listen, my child, when you have a new, different, or unexpected experience facing you, one of the most reassuring, helpful approaches to this is to say, I go to meet my good. When you wake up in the morning and you open your eyes, you got to say, today I go to meet my good. No matter what is before us, a test, an important appointment, a change of circumstance, hold the thought that I go to meet my good. This clears our mind and helps us meet any and every situation with a positive frame of mind, fearless frame of mind. Make this a standby and source of strength in meeting what may seem to be a difficult situation, because things are going to happen. People are going to put their wings on that we love truly. Nobody came to stay here. Nobody came to stay here. We was given a purpose and an assignment to go and represent God. And when we do that, as Reverend Gerald say, nobody's getting out of here alive. But your eternal spirit. See, that's what you want to leave, a legacy to be followed after. We're studying Ernest Holmes. We study scripture. because somebody came and proved the power of God. And they left something for us. What are you leaving on this planet when you go? What kind of legacy? We got to clear our minds. Make this a stand. Always prepare to meet persons, situations, and experience with poise and faith. In our chapter 3, Spirit, Ernest Holmes' spirit is life, intelligence, apart from the physical. For anything physical shall and will change. Spirit is force that is distinctive from matter. If Spirit, God, Father, Creator, was as changeable as we are, as the outer world is, what would we have faith in? God is unchangeable. You can depend on God when you can't even depend on yourself. Unchangeable. And the law is mechanical. It knows nothing about your personality. It's going to obey your word and whatever feelings you have behind that word. That's what the law does, and it's unchangeable as well. It does what God designed it to do. We are planted in divine mind. Being planted in divine mind is the process of sowing wisdom within, self that we reap the benefits of those seeds that's been sown. Spirit is the Father, Mother God, for it is the principle of unity and oneness. The only power that knows itself is the power back of all things. And the masculine energy is our executive power. The feminine, that's the one that holds love, everything together. So you're talking about your executive power and your loving power. And when you put those things together, can you imagine utilizing your executive power for love? Our motto is, whatever the question, love is the answer. We have to know that. And it has to be a feeling. That's why you got that heart center. So you can feel that unconditional love that God has, not our conditional. I always tell you, we love somebody until they don't do what we want them to do. And then we don't call them for 2 weeks, for a month. Oh, I'm going to show them. But that's coming back around some kind of way, y'all. We can't do that. When you know who you are and you're rooted in truth, you don't want to be mean to nobody. You don't want nobody to, you got to pay for my mistake. None of us are perfect. We're walking through this thing called life. This is the biggest classroom we will ever be in. Is the earth, right here on earth, our biggest classroom. And every day, you're going to have a pop quiz. You're going to have a test. Now, are you going to master this thing called life? We need to get our master's degree in this thing called living. We need to stop repeating the third grade over and over. Ernest Holmes reminds us, thinking is creation. It's not making something out of nothing. Thinking, creating is the movement of our thought into the realm of form. Becoming what was, thoughts are planted to experience. If you don't want to experience something, don't bring it into your life. Don't let it sit on the seat of your consciousness. Don't feel it in your heart center. Because that's energy that's going to attract something. Law of attraction, law of circulation. We got to be real careful. And when is the time to start? Did it say now? Tend to your spiritual garden daily. The seeds of truth are already planted within you. They don't need to be imported or borrowed. They are part of your spiritual DNA, but they do need the right condition to grow. So you weeds. You got to weed out the negativity with meditation. You got to feed your imagination with positive affirmations. You need to water your mind with contemplation of eternal truth. You need to shine the light of gratitude and praise upon your soul. Tend to your inner garden daily. Be the conscious gardener of your life. And soon we'll discover that the fruits of peace, love, clarity, and purpose were never far away. They were always within, waiting to bloom. Now we are planted in divine mind. Peace and blessings.